I personally don't think there's anything more frustrating when your diet just isn't working when it's supposed to work. You feel like you're just running around in circles and you're just chasing your own tail. So in this video, I'm gonna go through 7 possible reasons why that is. Why it's just not working, assuming you're doing everything right. I'm gonna bet that you're gonna find some clarity and answers in this video. We're gonna play detective today. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my students, and they've all gone to see some pretty amazing results. So you know it works. Before we get started, give this video a like, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video every week. Okay, there are multiple reasons why things might not be working as planned. Let's start with an easy one that most people are guilty of. You're a little behind on your approach. You're just eating less and moving more. Listen, I don't really blame you at all if this is your approach to fat loss, because this is still considered conventional wisdom by a lot of experts out there. Just eat less and move more. Calories in versus calories out. You need to be on a calorie deficit, bro. If you're not losing weight, you're not on a calorie deficit. Duh. And while that's vaguely true, I guess it's a little bit more complicated than that. That is honestly such an oversimplistic way of looking at the human body, because your body is more than just a mathematical equation. You need to factor in genetics, hormones, and your metabolism for starters. Speaking of metabolism, you're not losing weight because you might have a slow metabolism. If you've been dieting extensively for a long time, or if you've been doing an excessive amount of cardio, or worse, you're doing both. Again, I don't really blame you if this is your approach, because that is the definition of eat less and move more. So you've cut your calories really low and you're not losing weight anymore. You've hit the dreaded weight loss plateau. You most likely have a slow metabolism. Your metabolism can actually go up or down by as much as 40%. But the zealots of the calories in versus calories out model just makes this erroneous assumption that your metabolism stays stable. It does not stay stable. That right away exposes why that oversimplistic weight loss model doesn't work. The good news here is that you can fix your metabolism by going through a process called reverse dieting. It's where you go back up to maintenance calories for a certain period of time, so your body doesn't adapt to this calorie deficit that you're in by slowing down your metabolism, because your body is an adaptation machine. It doesn't want to die from this makeshift state of famine that you've put it in. And I've made a couple of videos about reverse dieting, so make sure you check those out. I'm also going to put some links in the description box. Yes, if you're trying to lose weight, the idea of reverse dieting might sound counterintuitive, but time and time again with all the students that I've worked with, they eventually lost even more fat through reverse dieting. Think of it as taking one step back in order to take 2 giant steps forward. The end goal is that you have a faster metabolism so that when you do go on a calorie deficit, it's actually gonna work. Number 3, you might have some underlying health issues. Okay, I'm not a doctor, but if you have an undiagnosed autoimmune disease, for example, that's gonna heavily impact your body. Losing weight is the last thing that your body is gonna want to respond to when it's trying to fight something from within. The same thing applies if you have any other sort of health issue. Going back to calories in versus calories out, yes, it'll work if you factor in hormones. And this is also assuming that you're 100% healthy. But if you have underlying health issues, it's not going to be as simple as just going on a calorie deficit, because your body will always prioritize healing itself first so you don't die. So even if you're on a calorie deficit, whatever food you're giving to your body is going to be used to heal itself first, and it's not going to want to lose fat. It's going to be the least of its concerns. I've seen people go on a raw vegan diet, which is supposed to be healthy, and not lose fat because they have thyroid problems, which again is a type of autoimmune disease. They're not losing fat because their bodies are literally fighting themselves. Same thing goes if you have hormone imbalances or digestive problems. Like if you have gut issues, PCOS, maybe you have low testosterone or high estrogen if you're male. All those things could cause your body to hold on to fat instead. Again, please don't consider this a diagnosis, but those are just some possible examples. Number 4, you're not losing weight because you're following the wrong diet. For example, if you've seen an unbelievably biased documentary like What the Health or Game Changers, and you get brainwashed and think that a plant-based diet is the way to go, well, you've been lied to. None of the health claims in those documentaries are based on good science. They're based on epidemiological studies that can only establish correlation but not causation. It's weak science at best. It's got no legs to stand on. But that's how they can make ridiculous claims like eating an egg, for example, is as bad as smoking 5 cigarettes. Like, what? That makes absolutely no sense. But if you want to keep doing it, if you want to keep following that diet, that's your prerogative. But there are no randomized controlled clinical trials that proves that a plant-based diet is the healthy diet for humans. 0. None. Far from it. But let's say you're not aware, you have the right intentions, so you try it. You go on the vegan diet, but you actually find yourself gaining weight because you're eating way too much carbs, which is very common for people eating a vegan or a vegetarian diet even. You're eating a lot of vegan or vegetarian junk food as well. This is why. Or maybe it does work at the beginning, when it mostly has to do with the fact that you're eating less crappy food. This is when you hear people say, oh, they feel so much better. Well, anybody will feel better if they stop eating so much junk food. But it all leads to the same path. You hit the dreaded weight loss plateau. But not only that, you start to feel horrible. You start having digestion problems, you have gut issues, and your hair starts falling off. You get all confused because you're eating this super healthy diet. Well, it's not healthy. Optimal health is impossible without animal foods. You need to eat meat in order to be a healthy and happy human being. This is why I'm always flabbergasted when parents put their kids on a vegan diet. Why? Well, here are some essential nutrients that plants don't contain. Carnitine, vitamin D3, vitamin K2, vitamin B12, EPA, DHA, and cholesterol. And no, you can't just take a supplement pill. It's not the same. You're getting a synthetic version of that vitamin. The bioavailability, which is how much your body actually absorbs the nutrients, is also night and day. So don't even argue that you can get iron from spinach the same way you can get it from meat. It's not even remotely close. Long story short, there's nothing healthy about a plant-based diet. Or maybe let's say you tried the keto diet, which I'm a big fan of, but that can also come with its own set of problems. You start seeing a lot of these keto branded products, so you automatically think it's good for you, it's healthy. You start eating keto protein bars, keto balls, keto bombs, which are still highly processed foods. You hear Joe Blow at the gym, for example, doing a dirty keto diet, so you try it, but it doesn't work for you. Well, the fact that it's called dirty keto should automatically sound alarm bells. What I'm trying to say here is you can't cheat the system. You can't consume vegan junk food, go to town on keto protein bars, drink diet soda, or use artificial sweeteners for everything, and wonder why you're not losing weight. You need to stick to real food. I want you to eat single ingredient, mostly unprocessed, nutrient-dense foods. Number 5, you're still using crutches. When I say crutches, I'm talking about things like diet soda or any beverage that's branded as 0 calories but is artificially sweetened. I'm also talking about any artificial sweetener in general. And this includes stevia, which for some reason gets a free pass from a lot of people. Sugar-free gum is also suspect here. And I'm gonna make this short because I've made tons of videos about this. But all you really need to know is that artificial sweeteners and diet soda is often linked to weight gain and obesity instead of weight loss. Why? Because it destroys your gut microbiome. We simply did not evolve to drink that stuff. Artificial sweeteners also trigger the cephalic phase insulin response, or CPIR. Like, you can't just trick your body to think that something is healthy just because it's branded as 0 calories. Your body doesn't know that. Your body doesn't know the difference. It'll still have a physiological response to it. Listen, nothing that sweet gets a free pass once it enters your system. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, for example, which I talk a lot about on my channel, and you're still relying on artificial sweeteners and diet soda to get you through your fast because you think that it's 0 calories, so it's okay, you're actually inadvertently breaking your fast because all artificial sweeteners trigger the CPIR. Notice how you're always hungrier and you have even stronger cravings after drinking a can of diet soda or chewing on sugar-free gum. And just think about this. Do you know anybody who got to their goal weight by drinking cans of diet soda every day or using artificial sweeteners? No. Oftentimes, it's usually what's holding them back. Number 6, this is a big one that always ruffles some feathers, but I have to mention it because you deserve a fighting chance. You're eating healthy food that aren't actually healthy. Maybe you're still eating low-calorie and low-fat versions of foods because you think it's healthier. It's not. It does more harm than good because the more processing your food goes through, the worse it is for you. You shouldn't be avoiding fat and cholesterol. They're not bad for you. Your body makes its own cholesterol, for crying out loud. It's essential to every cellular function in your body. You would literally die without it. Fat also plays a key role when it comes to your satiety. It's not bad for you. Fat doesn't make you fat. If anything, if you're not eating enough fat, you're probably fat. Okay, another healthy food that still gets a free pass from a lot of people is fruit. Okay, before you start coming with pitchforks in my direction, because I already did that with the vegans, just hear me out for a second. There are levels to this. Like, if you replace Doritos with fruit, then yes, it's the healthier option. But it doesn't make eating fruit optimal by any stretch of the imagination. Why? Well, for starters, fructose, which is the sugar found in fruit, is extremely lipogenic because your liver is the only thing that can process it before it becomes usable energy. Lipogenic means fattening, by the way. Also, the fruit that's available to us today is nothing like the fruit that our ancestors ate back in the Paleolithic times. They're genetically modified to be bigger and sweeter. Have you seen a strawberry lately? Or think of a Honeycrisp apple, for example. That wasn't a thing back in the day. There are also endless varieties of oranges you can buy these days, and they're all unbelievable unbelievably sweet. Fruit was also seasonal back in the Paleolithic times. Our ancestors ate fruit to fatten themselves up for winter. But nowadays, you can get fruit all year round. Seasons? What seasons? And time again, when I work with all my students, they all show the same thing. The less fruit they ate, the more fat they lost. Like, fruit doesn't contain any special vitamin or mineral that you're not gonna find in meat. Think of fruit as nature's version of candy. There's no such thing as natural sugar. That is a pipe dream. Sugar is sugar. And if you have a lot of hesitation about this, I totally get it, but just try it. Like, what do you have to lose? If what you've been doing to this point hasn't been working, it's at least worth a shot in my opinion. Number 7, whatever diet you're following is actually working, you're just being impatient. Let's be honest. It didn't take you days or weeks to put on the weight that you're trying to lose. It probably took you months or even years, which means that it's not gonna magically come off in just a couple of weeks. Let me give you some stats and how this all works because I'm a numbers guy and numbers don't lie. Let's use the US to make it easy. 3 out of 4 American adults is in the overweight or obese category. Childhood obesity is also at an all-time high. Basically, being overweight is the new norm in the US. 88% of American adults also have some form of metabolic dysfunction. Part of having metabolic dysfunction is being insulin resistant. Insulin, in case you didn't know, is the hormone that controls your body weight. The longer you've been insulin resistant, the longer you've been carrying the weight that you're trying to lose, the longer it's gonna take for you to lose that weight. Think of this as a broad spectrum. One end of it is insulin resistance, while the other end is insulin sensitivity. If you've spent a lot of time on one end of it, the wrong end, the insulin resistant side, it's gonna take some time for you to get to a point where you're just neutral. From there, you can work towards becoming insulin sensitive again. What I'm trying to say here is that it's gonna take some time. A 1 to 2 pound rate of fat loss every week is honestly what you should be aiming for. Even if it's just a pound a week, it might not sound impressive at first. Give it enough time and it turns into some pretty staggering results eventually. Here's one of my students who lost 25 pounds of fat in 6 months. That's about a pound a week. She just followed the right system, but more importantly, she was patient about it. The best part is she's been able to maintain her results. In the grand scheme of things, 6 months is not a long time. And if you want the same proven step-by-step plan that she followed, then make sure you check out the links at the top right-hand corner here. But this unrealistic expectation that we're constantly sold that there's a magic quick fix out there, that if you just do this one exercise or take this one pill, and it's gonna magically melt all your fat away, is what honestly sets so many people up for disappointment. But if you can wrap your head around the fact that it's gonna take some time, as long as you're moving towards the right direction every day, no matter how slow it may be, then you're gonna get there eventually. The next question then becomes, how are you actually supposed to eat if you want to lose weight? Because here's the thing, 80% of your body composition is determined by your diet. You can't just freestyle this part. Do you have a proven plan that you can follow? To help you with that, I want to give you a free copy of my lean body blueprint. This is how I melted all the fat around my stomach without depriving myself of my favorite foods or wasting hours at the gym. It's a simple 4-step process specifically designed for busy professionals, and it's the exact same blueprint that I teach to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gone to see some amazing results. If you want to be the next success story, then download your free copy of the Lean Body Blueprint right now. There's going to be a link somewhere at the top here or in the description box. Just click on it, type in your email, and I'll send it to you right away. All right, that's all I've got. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I post a new video every week. And hey, leave a comment below if you have any questions about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. First, a high five.